Hi students, welcome to Easy Nurse, where nursing education made easy. So GNM students, are you ready for your exam? If yes or if not, no problem. We are Easy Nurse here to help you as well as to guide you. So now I am going to discuss related some topic of your midwifery as well as the gynecology. So in this session I am giving some overview related to your syllabus, which will be helpful to get a good score in your exam. So if some questions are coming, so you can write the answer from this session. So let's start the today's session and it will help you to revise once again. So let's start. Okay. So first we are going to discuss regarding introduction. So what is the midwifery, what is gynecology, everything we'll discuss. Okay. So maternity nursing, it's mainly focus on the care of the childbearing women and their families through all the stages of pregnancy and childbirth as well as the first 6 weeks after birth. So maternity nursing not only focusing the nursing care only for the pregnant mother as well as after delivery of the mother, right? So maternity nursing, it means the care of the mother during pregnancy as well as after delivery, not only for mother, caring of the baby also as well as their families, okay? And up to 6 months. So after delivery to up to 6 months, the caring period should be there. So this period is known as puerperial period. Okay. So see, then definition. What is the definition of midwifery, obstetrics as well as the obstetrical nursing? So midwifery. Midwifery, in this, mid means being and wife means woman. So it is an art and science of the caring for the woman which is undergoing normal pregnancy, labor and the period which is following the childbirth. So a midwife is a person who have been regularly admitted to a midwifery educational program recognized in Indian Nursing Council. Okay. So midwifery is nothing but it's an art and science of the caring for the pregnant mother who is undergone through pregnancy, through delivery as well as after the delivery period. So to whose people we can say like this is the midwifery nurse who is studied like midwifery educational institution which is recognized through the INC. Next is the obstetrics. So in this obstetrics is came from the obstetrics. So this means as a midwife. Okay. So in this Latin word. So obstetrics is a Latin word. So in this Latin word, obs means 8 and stere means woman. So it's a branch of medicine which is providing care for the childbirth woman as well as who already the given birth. Okay. So that is the meaning of obstetrics. So when if the viva questions or any external examiner, they can ask you what you mean by obstetrics. So you have to remind that it is a branch of medicine. But midwifery is not a branch of medicine. Okay. When it's coming under obstetrics, so that time it's coming under branch of medicine, where providing care for the childbirth woman as well as who the woman already given the birth. So for them the outline care should be present. Next is the obstetrical nursing. So obstetrical nursing is nothing but it's a specialization of our nursing field where the nurse works with the patients who are trying to become pregnant, are already pregnant as well as who are already delivered or recently delivered. Okay. So these are the definitions of midwifery, obstetrics and obstetrical nursing. Next is the gynecology. So what do you mean by gynecology? Gynecology is nothing but it's a Greek word. Okay, so in this Greek, gyne means woman and logos means disclosure. Okay, so it is a study of disease which is peculiar to the female genital organ. So which diseases are related with the female genital organ, particularly female genital organ. So those diseases are called under the gynecology. Next is the scope of midwifery. So what are the scopes are present in the midwifery settings in our India? First is the preconceptual care, is nothing but to help the mother and family make the transition to the parenthood, means from normal life to parenthood to maintain the good relationship, then gain the knowledge as well as commitment with their children. Next one is the support and protect the physiological process. Means like during the pregnancy, within first to third trimester period, the many physiological changes are happening in the mother's body. So that's why the support and protection is much more needed for the pregnant woman. Okay. Next one is the provide care for the woman during 3 trimester of pregnancy as well as during the puerperium. Next one is the prepare and educate all the expectant mothers. Okay. So next scope, provide the education about the care of the child, about their growth and development. How they will take care about their child. What kind of the food they will provide for the child. Everything as a nurse or as a healthcare workers, we have to provide the guidelines for the mother. Next one is the trends of the maternity nursing in our India. So what are the trends are present? First is the economic issues as well as the trends. Means in some family they're not enough stable through the financially. So that's why in each and every hospital settings in our India nowadays they are providing much more policy as well as to provide the proper financial support to those kind of the family. Okay, as well as from government also they are providing some scheme. Next is trends in the healthcare settings. Like nowadays, much more technology is used in our healthcare settings, which helps the people to survive a long days as well as during the critical situation or during the delivery period. It helps the mother as well as healthcare workers to decrease the labor path. Okay. So next one is the trends related to the technology, the demographic issues as well as the trends. Means like community area. Suppose some community area they are preferring to give a birth as a more children. Some community area they are not preferring. Based on your family, based on your demographics, like issuing is happening in the family. Next one is the trends of the patient involvement in the self-care. So nowadays, why we are providing the health education during caring period for the patient? Because if they can able to take care about themselves, so it will be helpful for them, right? So that's why the patient involvement as well as self-care of the patient, how they will take care about themselves, everything we have to give a proper breakdown to the mother, either pregnant as well as after the delivery of the period. Suppose one patient is gone through the normal vaginal delivery, so how they will take care about this particular episiotomy area. If the mother is gone through the undergone cesarean section, so for this kind of case, how they will take care about this wound area. So everything we have to provide a proper brief. So what will happen? They can able to take care themselves. Okay. Next is the other trends. Other trends like psychological trends, financial trends, mental trends as well as many other things are there. Okay. So these are the trends. Okay. So next we are going to see regarding basic competencies of a midwife. So what are the basic competency? First is the general competency. Suppose as a antenatal care, what are the exercise they have to do? How they will run their dietary pattern? What kind of diet they used to follow? Then how much time they have to sleep? How much weight they have to gain? Everything we have to provide a proper knowledge for the pregnant mother, especially for the primary video, means who are experiencing the first time. Okay, so that is under the general competencies. Next is the general competency specific of the pre-pregnancy and then antenatal care. Specifically pre-pregnancy stage as well as pre-pregnancy in the sense like before conceiving and after conceiving to up to birth. Okay, so this period what are they have to do, that we have to provide the patient. Next is competency specific to the care during labor and birth. During the labor, like much more labor pain is there. Why it's happening? From where this pain is coming? Okay, so mainly this pain is coming from the uterine ostia, right? So from ostia, how it's serving all the uterine activity as well as how the cervical is going to dilate. Why it's dilate? For primary gravida mother, how much dilatation is there? For multigravida, how much dilatation is happening per hour? So everything, each and everything like knowledge we have to provide to the mother. So what will happen if we able to provide proper knowledge regarding the birth process to the mother, so the mother also can cope up with the situation and they will also help us to deliver the baby. So what will happen? The labor process will be shortened down. Okay, so that is the competency specific care during labor and birth. Next is to the ongoing care of the woman as well as the newborn, means how we have to take care about the newborn. What are the tests should be done for the newborn baby as well as for the mother after delivery of the baby. Then what are the types of the breastfeeding, techniques of the breastfeeding, what type of the milks are coming from the mother's breast, everything we have to explain it. So next is the vital statistic. So what do you mean by the vital statistic? Vital statistic is nothing but it's a statistical ratio. Okay, so it's a statistical ratio as well as the numerical form of the social factors. So what are the factors like birth rate, death rate, specific death rate, neonatal mortality rate, infant mortality rate, under 5 mortality rate, perinatal mortality rate, maternal mortality rate, as well as the general fertility rate. Okay, so one by one we are going to see the equation. So first is the birth rate. Birth rate is nothing but like number of the live births during the year, which should be divided by estimated median population, and it should be multiplied by the 1000. Next is the death rate. Death rate is nothing but like number of the deaths during the year, either through for any disease condition, either for accident or whatever, the number of deaths during the year, which should be divided by estimated median population, and this number should be multiplied through the 1000. Next is the specific death rate. So under this, like age is there, age specific death rate as well as the disease specific death rate. Okay, so see the equation, like number of death due to HIV infection. HIV infection is related to the disease, so it's a disease specific death rate. So number of death due to HIV infection, it should be divided by estimated median population, which should be multiplied by the 1000. So if they are asking like what is the age specific death rate, so that time you have to tell like number of the death due to any particular disease. As example, the cancer, which should be divided by the estimated median population, and this numerical form, it should be multiplied by the 1000. Okay, so this is the specific death rate, and these are the equation to enumerate the specific death rate. Next is the neonatal mortality rate. Mortality rate in the sense like a death rate. Okay, so what is the NMR, means neonatal mortality rate? So number of the rate under the 28 days of the age, means after birth within 28 days how many death is happening, which should be divided by total live birth in a year, which should be multiplied by the 1000. Okay, so next is the infant mortality rate. So in this infant mortality rate, which period is called as infant? That is 30 days to 1 year or the 12 months. Okay, so this period is called as an infant. So what should be the equation? IMR is equal to number of death under 1 year of the age, which should be divided by the total live birth or estimated median population, which should be multiplied by the 1000. Okay, so this is the equation of IMR. Next is the under 5 mortality rate. So under this, like less than 5 years of the age in a given year, which should be divided by number of live births in the same year, and it should be multiplied by the 1000. Next is the perinatal mortality rate. So under this, number of deaths which is occurring 28 weeks or more or 7 days after birth, which should be divided by the total live birth plus stillbirth, and it should be multiplied by the 1000. So what do you mean by the stillbirth? Stillbirth is nothing but like before delivery of the baby is dead in the uterus. Okay, so that time it's called as a stillbirth. So nothing but like delivering a dead baby. Next is the maternal mortality rate. So maternal mortality is nothing but like death ratio of the mother. So MMR is nothing but like maternal death, which should be divided by the women of reproductive age group, and it should be multiplied by the 1000. So reproductive age group, which years is called as a reproductive age group? That is 18 to 45 years of the age group people is known as reproductive age group. Next is the general fertility rate. So under this, like number of the live births in a particular area, which should be divided by median female population is 15 to 44 in the same year in the area in the same year, which should be multiplied by the 1000, means reproductive age group people of that particular same area, which should be multiplied by the 1000. So this is the equation of general fertility rate. So next coming questions is most important, that is female reproductive system. Sometimes in your exam they will ask you 5 marks, either 10 marks, discuss about the female reproductive system, because you are studying in the midwifery and gynecology. So that's why reproductive system, anatomy or physiology of reproductive system is a much more important questions, either internal, external as well as the viva. So read it very well. If you understand these questions or answer, so what will happen? The next session you also can understand very easily, either any topic also you can understand very easily. Okay, so let's discuss about the female reproductive system. So what is this female reproductive organ in the those like which concerned with population, fertilization, growth and development of the fetus and its subsequent to exit to the outer world. So that is the female reproductive system. So mainly it's related with the population, fertilization as well as growth and development of the fetus which is subsequent to exit the outer world. Next is the female reproductive organ which is subdivided into the three parts. So what are the parts are there? That is external genitalia, next is the internal genitalia and last one is the accessory reproductive organ. Okay, so one by one we are going to discuss. Okay, so first is the external genitalia. So under this external genitalia, what are they? This external female reproductive organs which is accordingly known as the vulva. So full external reproductive organ is known as a vulva. Vulva is a composite name for the external genitalia. So these parts are outside visible. So what are the parts? That is mons pubis, labia majora, labia minora, clitoris as well as under this vestibule urethral opening is there, then vaginal opening is there, fourchette is there and Bartholin ducts or opening is there. Okay, and last is the perineum is there. So these are under external genitalia. So sometimes in 2 marks questions they can ask you write down the external genitalian organ. Okay, so that time you have to list out it. Mons pubis, labia majora, labia minora, clitoris, vestibule. Under this vestibule urethral opening, vaginal opening, fourchette as well as Bartholin ducts are opening and last is the perineum. So these overall organs are under this external genitalia. Okay, so according this all together is known as a vulva. Next is the mons pubis. So what are the mons pubis? Mons pubis is nothing but it's a triangular shape which is a fatty tissue covers. Okay, so it protects the symphysis pubis and during this the adolescent sex hormones triggers the growth of the pubic hair on the mons pubis. So hair varies in some people is like curliness, then amount and color or thickness also sometimes varies. Okay, so next is the labia majora. Labia majora is nothing but which is protect the introitus as well as the urethral opening. So which is covered with the hair and then subsequent glands and tend to be very smooth, moist as well as hairless and become the flaccid with the age and after the childbirth. Next one is the labia minora. So what is labia minora? Which is also known as the inner lips of the vagina and it's a made up of the erectile then connective tissue which is darkens and swells during the intercourse. Okay, so which is located inside the labia majora and labia minora tightens during the intercourse. Okay, so these are the overbrief of the mons pubis, labia majora and labia minora. So next is the clitoris. So clitoris is nothing but like it's a very highly sensitive organ of our external genitalia regarding the blood supply, then nerves and then erectile tissue which is made up of a shaft as well as a glans. So it's become engorged with the blood during the sexual intercourse, urethral opening which is located below the clitoris. Next is the labia majora. See the description, it is a triangular space which is bounded anterior by the clitoris. Anteriorly clitoris present for the labia majora, posteriorly fourchette is present under of the labia majora. Okay, so there are the 4 openings are there. What are the 4 openings in labia majora? That is urethral opening, vaginal orifice, Bartholin ducts as well as the fourchette. So urethral opening is nothing but it's situated in the midline just in front of the vaginal orifice. Next is the vaginal orifice. So it lies the posterior of the vestibule and hymen which is a thin fold of the mucous membrane close to the circumference of the vaginal orifice. Next is the Bartholin ducts which is posterior to the vulvar bulb and fourchette is a thin fold of the skin which is formed by fusion of the labia minora. So just remember fourchette is nothing but it's a fusion of the labia minora. Next is the perineum. Perineum is nothing but it's a muscular area between the vaginal introitus and the anus which is composed of the connective tissue, muscle and fat. So next is the internal genitalia. So under this internal genitalia it's a internal reproductive organs in the pelvic cavity which require the special instrument or the inspection. So it consists of like a vagina 1. So number 1 vagina is present, 1 uterus is present, 2 uterine tubes as well as fallopian tubes are present and 2 ovaries are present. Okay, so see first is the vagina. So under this vagina it's a muscular tube that extends upward as well as the backward from the vulva to the uterus. So next one is the uterus is made up as a 3-inch long and then upper end of the vagina is perceived by the cervix. Next is the area of the vaginal lumen which surrounds the cervix and it's divided into the 4 regions. What are the region? Anterior, posterior, right and left lateral region. So next is the uterus. So uterus we know as a hollow structure, right? So it's a hollow as well as a pear-shaped organ which is present in our body and it's a very thick and muscular walls. So the measures is a 3 cm in long, 5 cm in wide as well as 2.5 cm in the thickness. So next is parts, is divided into 3 parts. What are the parts? Like fundus, body and cervix. Sometimes in 2 marks questions they will ask you like draw a picture of the uterus and just notify the parts. Okay, so that time you have to draw a picture of this particular uterus. If you can't able to draw that fallopian tube, that is also no problem, but if you can, you have to draw it. Okay, so fundus, which part is called as fundus? So that part is called as a fundus. Next is body. So full this part is known as a body and cervix. So and from this part when that hollow structure is coming. Okay, so this part is known as a cervix. Okay, so this draw a picture, you have to draw it and you have to notify it. Okay, so next is the functions. What are the functions is happening by the uterus? That is menstruation, then pregnancy, labor as well as the involution. Why labor? Because from the ostia part which is known as this part. Okay, so from this part, this ostia part, then labor pain is started. So from this it is first is come to the downwards, next is come to the upwards and then it covers the full uterus part. So that's why labor is one of the functions of the uterus. Okay, so next we are going to see regarding fallopian tubes. Fallopian tubes which is which helps the holding of the ovaries. So there are 2 muscular tube which are about the 10 cm long. Okay, so they extend from the uterine cornu, means this part where this fallopian tube is attached. So this part is known as a cornu, uterine cornu. Okay, so which is outward and laterally towards the ovaries. So what are the parts? That is isthmus, infundibulum, ampulla as well as the fimbriae. Okay, so this part is known as the isthmus. Next is the infundibulum. This upper part curve like structure, this is called infundibulum. Next this part is called as a ampulla and this finger like structure is known as a fimbriae. Okay, so next is the function. What are the function? Like transport the ovum from ovary to the uterine cavity, then receive the spermatozoa for the fertilization and supplies the nutrition to the fertilized ovum. So these are the main function which is done by the fallopian tube and buds. Next are the ovaries. So in our female body 2 ovaries are present, right? So ovaries are nothing but it's a paired sex glands. So it's an almond shaped organ which is situated on side of the uterus. So it measures approximately like 4 cm long, 3 cm wide and 2 cm thick in size and weight is like 5 to 10 gram. So you have to remind the measurement for the ovaries. 4 cm long, 3 cm wide, 2 cm thick in size and weight is 5 to 10 grams. So what are the structure for this particular ovary? The outer part is known as cortex, middle part is known as the medulla and last part is known as the hilum. Okay, so what are the function? During the reproductive period, ovaries discharge the mature ovum at each the menstrual cycle and which is produce the sex hormone. What are the hormone is produced by the ovaries? That is estrogen as well as the progesterone. Okay, so next we are going to see regarding accessory reproductive organs. Okay, so what are the accessory reproductive organ? Mainly 2, that is breast and pelvis. So first we are going to discuss regarding breast. So breast is nothing but it's a paired mammary gland which between the 2nd and 6th ribs. Okay, it's present between 2nd and 6th ribs of the mother. So what are the structure? So first is thoracic wall is present. See the image, thoracic wall, then pectoris major, then lobules, after that lactiferous ducts as well as fatty or adipose tissue. So these are the structure of the breast. So sometimes some mother is having the heavy breast, some people, some women they are having the small breast. So mainly the structure of the breast is depends on fatty or adipose tissue as well as the lobes. Mainly in the breast, this 70% is covered by the fatty or adipose tissue. So some who are the fatty women or who are the obese women, so for them mainly this fatty or adipose tissue is present or accumulated is more in the breast. So that's why the structure of the breast is becoming big. Okay. So during the pregnancy, why it's happening? Because due to the hormonal imbalance, everything is increasing. So as well as fatty or adipose tissue also increasing in the breast. So that's why the breast enlargement is present during the pregnancy period. Okay. So So next is these are paired mammary gland between the second and sixth ribs. Okay, so these are about all brief regarding the breast. So after the delivery, what is happening? Prolactin hormone is secreted by the pituitary. So after secretion of the prolactin hormone, what is happening? It stimulates the lobules factor of the breast. Okay, so after stimulation of the lobules, what is happening? The milk is coming into the lactiferous duct. Means this kind of ducts are present, so that is called lactiferous duct. So after coming from the lactiferous duct, it is engaged into the nipple side. So when the baby is sucking, so due to this stimulation reflection, this breast is milk is coming from the breast to the fetus mouth. Okay, so this is the main procedure of the milk secretion. And last is the female pelvis. So female pelvis is nothing but it's a basin shaped ring-like bony structure, okay, which is connected with the axial and appendicular skeleton, okay, in our body, and it helps mainly to bearing down the weight of mother's body from upper part to lower part, as well as during the delivery also it helps to descend down of the fetus from uterine womb to the butt duct. Okay, so that is the definition of the female pelvis. So see, the bony and ligamentous pelvis is designed to protect the pelvic viscera, support the vertebral column. Next, pelvic the girdle protects viscera content with the cavity, and it helps for seating for the woman. So it supports the vertebral column. So that's why we are able to stand as well as we can able to walk everything, and during that time body weight is also descending down to the lower body part. Okay, so next is the bones. So what are the bones are present in the female pelvis? That is composed of the 4 bones. Innominator hip bones, that is 2, then 1 sacrum as well as the 1 coccyx. Okay, so to get like more details of the female pelvis, in next session I will discuss. So in this session I gave you overall overview of your syllabus of midwifery and gynecology. Hope it will be helpful for you, as well as hope you understood my session. So again we will meet in next session. Till that, keep learning and stay tuned with the easiness and study well. Okay, so thank you.